Hey, we are Lifehouse, and we are here at Third Encore in Los Angeles, rehearsing for our upcoming tour with the Goo Goo Dolls. 1 a.m. is our bus call, and we are going to Phoenix tonight. So come on inside, we'll show you around and show you our little rehearsal space. This is our space, our messy little dorm room. This is my newest edition. This is a 1966 Sparkling Burgundy 335. Let me give you a little background on this guitar. It started off in the 60s this color, and then over the years, by staying in the sun probably at a music store, it turns to this gold color, which is kind of a unique. This is probably my favorite guitar. We did a gig in Jamaica, and I was rocking out, and I sliced my finger open. So there's some blood on the strings, or not the strings, but the bridge right here. So I decided to keep it to remind myself of the War of Jamaica. This is the Kiefer Sutherland model. We did our record at Ironworks Music, and Kiefer gave this to me as a gift, wrapping up our record. Kiefer Sutherland and Jude Cole have their record label and studio called Ironworks Music, and that's where we did the record. And Jude and him have been friends since they were like 18 years old, so it was fun. And I'm a big 24 fan, you know, so having Jack Bauer come in like in the middle of the session was pretty cool. You get a little intimidated, huh?
You know what? Every single time he comes into the studio, he's a super cool guy, but it's still incredibly intimidating.
I remember when he leans over, he's all, remember Lost Boys? I'm like, yeah.
Michael's magging. Mike, I can't even talk.
It's okay. You don't have to talk. You can tune. Go tune.
I'm tuning.
All right.
You know, I try to force my vocals in as much as I can. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. I've been trying to get the band to cover that one. No takers. I guess only for you guys you get the custom live vocal. If I can only play the beat and sing it at the same time.
Just got myself a new amp, but it looks old. That's the whole secret to it. It's a reissue. It's supposed to look all 70s, but it's brand new. Little secret. And this Rickenbacker, it's a Blue Burst. I got it yesterday. Fired up. It's supposed to look old too, but it is not. Brand new. Come back here. This is my world and Ian's world. Ian is our bass and drum tech. He helps out my set.
During the show, the band runs wireless guitar packs. So the one point of the show where I have to like be on top of timing is turning off one pack to these.
Because if he doesn't, I would give you a demonstration of what happens, but it sounds something like. It sounds like Insanity, if Insanity was a sound.
Yes.
You got a picture of this. You got to get a picture of this. This is the Briz Zone. Right here. This is his spot.
It's so nice to have my own
That's
zone
the
because
zone.
you know I have massive feet and you know I think it's the right size for me. You know, if I fall, it really does not look good because I'm tall and kind of lanky, and you know it would really be ugly. So I need that spot.
And you know about guys with big feet.
Yeah, they have big hands.
Hey, what's up? We're Lifehouse. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the road, hopefully with some barbecue skewers and a dry rub. You're going to be able to dance to this record.
This record has something for. I'm gonna go after that.
I was like 2, 3, 4. It's like I don't know how I was gonna. How do you do it? You know? How to do that? Does he do the beats that make me do that? You know what I mean?
This record has something for everyone. It's very dynamic. I think it's like, I mean, the Beatles were great at reaching a mass audience, young and old. And
You can't put us in the same sentence
Yes, I
as the
can.
Beatles.
Yes, I can.
The coolest thing about this record, for me personally, is the fact that none of the songs were actually planned out. You know, we'd go into the studio in the morning, and I'd write the song that day. The guys and I would record it, and I'd write lyrics the next day. So there's this urgency to the record that happened from just not really overthinking it. You know what I mean? It just, when you listen to the tracks, they were recorded on the spot. You know, so it kind of has this electricity to it, which is really exciting for me. We got in the studio and just started, you know, writing and recording. The first 3 songs weren't that happening. We were just kind of getting warmed up, and then one day we stumbled upon First Time, which ended up being our first single. And there was something really special that happened that day. We got it in like maybe 1 or 2 takes, and then it just kind of had this really kind of frenetic, young energy to it, you know. And when I was writing the lyric, it just kind of felt like a summer love song, you know what I mean? So, and it's one of the few songs that I can think about in our career where we actually all agreed that this should be the first single, you know, because usually everyone has their favorite songs, but that song was the backbone of the record, and then everything else kind of unfolded after that. Storm was a song that just kind of followed us around through the years. We put this indie record out, like you said, and we only printed up 1,000 copies, so I think it ended up on the internet, and it just became a fan favorite. Like, there was kind of like a cult following that really loved that song, and we didn't play it for like the first 3 or 4 years, but every single show that someone would shout out for us to play it. And one day we just started incorporating it in our set, and this really, you know, it was like a really special moment in the set where it felt like it was really moving people. So when we were finishing up this record, we got the idea of like, you know, let's just put this track on the record as kind of like paying homage to like the people that have been supporting us over the years, you know. So it's mainly for the fans. You know, we live in a really digital world, especially with music is so, it's almost like run by a computer, you know. That's why we're very careful when we go into the studio not to overuse Pro Tools, you know, because we just use it as a tape machine, not as a way of making it easier on ourselves, you know what I mean? I think that, you know, you can tell as a listener when something is so perfect it doesn't even feel like humans playing it, and he's the biggest reason for that. Like, Rick is kind of like our musical conscience of making sure that we, you know, as musicians are continuing to grow and keep our A game on, you know. But yeah, it's very important to us, because I believe that when you listen to a song played by real musicians, you get this feeling. It's like this energy that I can't even really describe.
I mean, a lot of the upbeat ones, we can play them.
I started playing music when I was 15. I got inspired by my mom. Actually, I had this 12-string beat-up Washburn, and I remember growing up, I was always writing songs like really late at night, and it was just one of my earlier memories. And when she got really busy and had like 3 jobs and was going to school, she stopped playing and gave the guitar to me, taught me a couple chords, and that's when I figured out that I could put my lyrics to, you know, these melodies, and that's when I started writing songs.
We grew up kind of in the Nirvana, when Nirvana broke, it was like 91-ish, and I got into guitar playing through that whole era. I heard Come As You Are on the bass, and I was like, I gotta play that. So that's how I got into music.
I was pretty much raised in a family that everybody played music. My mom was it's kind of random, but she was an accordion player. And my dad thought he was Elton John.
Wasn't he in an Elton John cover band, actually?
He had the full-on Elton John getup. Like, he looked like Elton John, he sounded like Elton John. And he would take me to concerts, and he would like be doing his piano solo, and I'd be on his shoulders when I was really little. So I don't know, it's kind of all I knew really growing up.
Rick got the earliest start out of all of us.
He says I was born in a bass drum.
He was, yeah.
I can't remember if I was. It was too much of that. Oh, you know what I mean? Although I am a little slow.
I kind of ran a little con artist deal when I was 17. I realized there was a lot of these little rich kids that kind of looked up to me and wanted to learn how to play guitar. So I'm like, yeah, I could teach you how to play guitar for $30 a lesson. And so I had like a clientele list of like 5 or 6 of these rich kids, and that's how I paid my rent for like 2 years.
I did that too for a little bit.
You did. Actually, when you joined the band, you were still doing guitar lessons.
That was what they called Poe.
I think you might have been a better teacher than me, because it ended up just playing 007 on the PS2 after a while. You know, I taught this one kid like a G chord, a D chord, a C chord, and then he's like, "You want to play video games?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it."
You were better.
So.
We were actually rehearsing next door to each other in 2 different bands, and me and him would pass each other literally every day. We didn't know each other's names, and we'd say hi. But then finally, when their drummer blew up or got fired or
Blew
I
up.
don't remember what happened.
He spontaneously.
But I showed up, and he was like, you know, we started to become friends when I first got in the band. He thought, dude, I thought you looked like you were gonna beat me up. Like you looked all mean.
If you don't know Rick,
I'm not mean,
he's
though.
the nicest guy in the world, but he has this intense look.
Like that?
Sometimes, yeah, it's like this scowl. I don't know what it is, but he's
looking
a
at?
he's a teddy bear deep down inside. But it was funny because when he came to the auditions, you probably hate it when I tell this, but I think it's hilarious. It was. We were on a major record label. We had a record coming out, and our auditions were Rick and these two 14-year-olds, and their mom had to drive him in the minivan, so he got the gig by default.
It was tough competition that day.
But you did nail it, I have to say.
I came out on top.
Yeah, you did a good job. And then Bryce has been with us for how long now?
Almost 3 years.
I won't tell your story for you.
I had to compete with like 3 15-year-olds, but you know, I could, you know, I'm a lot bigger than them, and I had a base, and yeah, I could have, yeah, I beat them up.
Zeroed up. Well, with Bryce, when he first got in the band, he showed up, we played maybe a quarter of one song, and then we took him to Mexican food.
Yeah.
It was easy. That was how we hired him.
It was like more of like a bro down vibe rather than let's play music and work out these songs.
We like you. We don't care if you can play.
You have a blonde hair and it's long. You're in the band.
He asked me to join the band the day after we rehearsed for that 1 or 2 song. And I shed an emo tear right here on the side of the cheek.
You should get that tattooed.
On a porcelain
like,
skin.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, we definitely had a good chemistry with Bryce the first day that we hung out and played. As soon as we played the first couple songs off of our last record, we realized that it was going to be a long and fruitful relationship.
That's right.
So Bryce, thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I mean, it was a whirlwind. It happened really quickly. Basically, we went from, I remember our first gig together. It was like this little basement in San Francisco. It was like an Italian joint on top, and then it was just like this really dingy club. Or no, it was an Irish pub.
Yeah.
That's right. But I remember specifically the record label having to go pay people $20 to come see us because they needed a crowd in there. And then that was right when the record was getting released, and then all of a sudden, Hanging by Moment went on the radio, and all of a sudden we were on the road with Pearl Jam and on the road with Matchbox 20 doing these arenas, so it went just like that, overnight. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, we actually nearly died the day. We got so excited we nearly crashed our car. We were going to a show in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was one of those moments you'll never forget. It's almost like going in slow motion. The cars weren't going in slow motion, but we were. We nearly died. But
Lifehouse Fans Brasil.
Would you tell me how could it be?